All right, strap in, because today we're diving deep, really deep into some pretty complex stuff. We're tackling Tuki, that's The Illusion of Atheism, a book by Ahmed Alhasan.
Interesting.
Now, this isn't your run-of-the-mill religious text.
Okay.
It actually tries to debunk atheism, but get this, it uses science and philosophy to do it.
Oh, wow. That is unique.
Yeah, so we're in for a pretty wild ride.
Sounds like it.
And one of the first things the book jumps into is, well, you guessed it, evolution.
Okay. How does it approach that?
It really goes after Darwinian natural selection, especially how those first life forms, came to be.
The very beginning.
Yeah, the very beginning. It uses this phrase, tortoises all the way down.
Tortoises all the way down.
Yeah, implying that evolution can't really explain the origin of life, just how things changed afterward.
I see. So it's tackling the root of the issue.
Exactly. I'm also curious about another point the book makes. It brings up entropy.
Oh, the second law of thermodynamics.
Yeah, that's the one. Okay, so let's move on to another area where the book challenges evolution.
Sure.
Really goes after some of the key evidence, like the fossil record and the genetic similarities between, well, different species.
Okay, so what about the fossil record? What does the book say about that? It acknowledges the similarities, but suggests that a common designer could be another explanation.
Instead of common ancestry.
Exactly! It's like saying that just because two cars have similar features, it doesn't automatically mean they rolled off the same assembly line.
But maybe the same designer worked on both.
Yeah, that's the idea. It's a tough argument to support when you consider the genetic evidence.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit.
Sure.
And talk about another big idea the book puts forward. Intelligent design. Okay, so we've covered the book's critiques of evolution and that whole intelligent design argument. But it doesn't just stick to science, right?
No, it doesn't.
It goes into some pretty heady philosophical territory, too. It talks about the unique qualities of consciousness, suggesting it can't just be explained by, the physical stuff going on in the brain.
It goes beyond the material.
And it touches on free will, arguing that it contradicts, well, the deterministic view some atheists hold,
Yeah.
Like everything's predetermined.
These are questions that have kept philosophers busy for centuries.
No kidding. So where does science fit into all of this? What's the current understanding? Oh.
It actually proposes alternative theories for human origins.
Alternative theories,
Things like panspermia and extraterrestrial intervention.
Hold on, so we're talking about aliens now.
Well, not explicitly, but it explores those possibilities. It even brings in ancient Sumerian texts.
Whoa, ancient Sumerian texts.
Yeah, and interprets them as evidence of advanced civilizations existing way before our conventional timelines.
Like ancient astronaut theories.
Kinda. I have to admit, I have always been fascinated by those ideas.
Me too. Speaking of changing perspectives, I find it fascinating how the illusion of atheism tried to bridge that gap between science and religion.
You mean how it acknowledges scientific discoveries but offers alternative interpretations rooted in religious beliefs?
Exactly. It's like it's looking for common ground between these two seemingly different worlds.
It makes you think. How can we reconcile scientific evidence with faith-based perspectives? That's a big question.
For sure. For instance, the book talks about creation. It suggests that scientific explanations like the Big Bang don't automatically contradict the idea of a divine creator.
So it's not about choosing one side or the other, but exploring how these seemingly opposing views might actually coexist.
Yeah, precisely. It's like each perspective brings something unique to the table, and by considering both, we might get a more complete picture of reality.
It's a thought-provoking approach that encourages us to consider the limitations of both scientific and religious frameworks.
This deep dive has definitely taken us on a whirlwind tour.
Picking up where we left off, one of the most interesting things about the illusion of atheism is how it tries to reframe the whole debate between atheism and, belief. It challenges this idea that science and religion are like oil and water,
They just don't mix.
Yeah, it suggests they could actually offer complementary viewpoints, like different pieces of the same puzzle.
Instead of being totally opposed.
Exactly. And it asks this question: how do we reconcile what science tells us with, perspectives based on faith?
That's a big one.
For example, the book talks about creation, how explanations like the Big Bang don't necessarily have to contradict religious ideas about a divine creator.
So it's not an either-or situation.
Right. It's more about exploring the possibility that both science and religion can, coexist, even enrich each other.
It's like each perspective brings something different to the table.
Exactly. And by considering both, we might get a fuller picture of reality. This makes me think about something I've been reading about lately. And it brings us back to the core of what this book is trying to do, which is to challenge this purely materialistic worldview.
It's saying there might be more to existence than just the physical stuff.
Exactly. Like, reducing everything to physical processes might miss some key aspects of being human.
Like what?
Consciousness, spirituality, that search for meaning.
It's pushing back against the idea that science has all the answers, that it can explain everything about us, why we're here, all that.
It's more like saying that science is this amazing tool for understanding the physical world.
But not the be-all and end-all.
Right. There could be other ways of knowing, other paths to understanding those big mysteries.
It's like if you only use a map to explore a new city, you might get the layout, the main streets.
But you'd miss the hidden gems, the little details that bring the city to life.
The stories, the atmosphere, the vibe.
Exactly. You need more than a map to truly experience a place. And in the same way, the book argues that we need more than just science to grasp the whole human experience.
That's a great way to put it.
It gets to the heart of what the illusion of atheism is trying to do, I think.
What's that?
It's inviting us to, broaden our perspectives, to consider different ways of seeing things, and to be okay with the mystery and wonder that's still out there, beyond what we know scientifically.
To embrace the unknown?
Exactly.